I don't go to self-checkout. It pisses me off. You're not paying me to operate a register. So I'm not going to do it for you. Not to mention you're taking somebody's fucking jab. You know what? And then I'm sitting at the checkout line. Oh my God, you want to go to a nightmare? Here's a nightmare for you. Go to the supermarket at around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, this is when everybody's getting ready for dinner or getting out of work and grabbing something to cook when they get home. You want to talk about the most miserable fucks online. Oh, come to Long Island. Oh, yeah. Come to Long Island. I dare you. It's got to be the most miserable. I feel like I'm living in a pressure cooker. But then, I'm sitting on this like horrific line. And they have like one register open now because there's fucking 20 registers there. They have one register open because of self-checkout. They want to funnel everybody into self-checkout because they don't want to pay anybody to be on the register. So I'm sitting there, and this guy has this huge order. And then when he gets done, he gets his receipt. He goes, "Thank you so much." He goes, "Best wishes to you and your family, and Happy New Year." I'm like, hey, Ned Flanders, can you get the fuck out of here? Who's saying it's January 8th? Who's still saying Happy New Year? Oh, for fuck's sake. Enough with the Happy New Year already. Anyway, what advices? Here we go. What are some steps to close with a woman? I have no issue getting initial attraction. I'm attractive, have charisma, and am funny. Excuse me. I've been working on improving my social skills, especially with women, but have been hitting a roadblock in terms of escalating and closing with a woman. Any advice? Thanks. I'm going to assume this means fucking. And maybe that's your first roadblock right there, that you can't even come out and say it. Is this what I'm going to assume this is what we're talking about. And here we go. Wow. I really feel bad for young guys out there trying to get laid. With all that's going on, I'd be afraid to take my dick out of my pants, to be honest with you. Oh yeah. With all this Me Too movement going on and these radicalized feminists running around, I don't know what's going on. I honestly don't know what's going on, but I'm going to explain to you this, okay? It's very simple. And this happened since the dawn of time. You got to understand something. We have two parts of our brain. Right? We have the cerebellum, which is basically the reptilian part of the brain, okay? This controls your heart rate. This controls your breathing. This controls your central nervous system. And it also controls when you see that woman in the supermarket bending over to get the bag of frozen peas from the bottom shelf. It trips the boner valve. You see? This is the reptilian part of the brain that makes you want to grab a woman, rip her pants off, and start fucking! Now, we also have a more modern part of the brain, the neocortex. This is the biggest part of our brain, the outside, the part of the brain that looks like a bunch of wet noodles. This is a relatively new part of the brain. This is what controls our consciousness, our ability to think rationally, and our ability to be to think artistically and to think metaphysically. Now, and then while you're courting a woman out on a date, perhaps you're using this neocortex to hopefully be funny, try to be intelligent, carry on a conversation, but ultimately the date, and every date, ends up with the first kiss. Do you understand? Now, a first kiss is actually a modulation, okay? Imagine a crossfader, okay? When you're a DJ and you go from one record and you crossfade to the next record, it's a mix. And this is where you start to mix. When you go in for that kiss, you start to mix the neocortex with the reptilian part of the brain. Okay, because when you go in for that kiss, it's a showing of dominance. You see? Ah, yes, this is something that men aren't allowed to do anymore. That's right. You're not allowed to be dominant because that's what men do. They are dominant. There are the odd case, and I've experienced it, where you can actually go out with dominant women. I had women that liked to slap me and choke me, and I remember thinking to myself, what the fuck is going on here? I went with it. I said, well, I'll take the ride. I said, it's a new experience. I'll take the ride. It really wasn't for me, but I gave it a shot. You got to be open-minded. Anyhow, you go in for that kiss, but here's the thing. You go in for that kiss, and then you have to be very, very conscious of body language. Even before the initial kiss, you have to be so conscious of body language. This is a big problem that I had as a young man. I remember hanging out with a group of friends, and my buddy, an older guy, said to me, hey, that blonde is really into you, man. And I was like, hey, what? I had no idea. And he goes, oh yeah, man, the body language is on. She's into you, dude. And as it turns out, I'm an idiot. And I found out later that she was. And completely blew an opportunity. So it was after that I started to read about body language and how important it is. Oh yeah, eye contact and flipping of the hair and movement of the body and the way a woman's, right down to the way a woman's feet are pointing when you're in a social situation. If her feet are actually pointing at you, this is a form of body language. Being very aware of body language, which is 85% of human communication. I don't care what you say. So here we go. And the next thing you know, who knows? You might be invited in, or you invite her in, and then you're inside. And this is where things get very interesting. It used to be very cut and dry. But now you don't know what, you guys out there are so scared. They're afraid if they pull down their pants, the woman's going to scream, me too, running out of the house. But there comes a point when you're with a woman where you got to flip and go full turkey into the reptilian brain and pull out and say, hey honey, you ever see the fucking purple-headed monster? No. I mean, there comes a point where somebody has to become dominant. You understand? That's what sex is. If it's any good, what do you think? People get together and say, okay, honey, we're going to have sex now. I'm going to pull down my pants first. Then you pull down your pants next. No! You grab her and you go to town. But you have to be very conscious of what's going on. When you grab her, obviously if there's resistance or if there's a no involved, you got to be able to say, enough's enough. You stop. Okay? I think we all know this. But the initial initiation by a man is a very dominant thing. And what do they used to call it a pass, right? All right. But in modern day, a pass is, it's a little more crude. I don't know. What are we talking about here? So what I'm saying is, when you get to that point, you got to move in for it. And I mean, it's amazing. Listen, women want you to do this. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, women want you to be a man. They want you to be dominant. They want you to take control. You hear it in music all the time. Dance music. I want you to take control. I'm actually not sure if it goes like that. But women need you to take control. They need you to take control. Do you get it? Do you get it? You can't listen to the handful of feminist assholes out there. All right? That try to make you to believe that every dominant move you make is some form of rape or some form of humiliation. I mean, listen, I got news for you. These feminists, if I was a woman, I'd be so pissed off. This whole, oh my God. This whole burning the bras in the 60s, and we want to be treated equal. If I was a woman, I would have been like, hey, asshole, you're blowing it for everybody. That's great. You got it now, honey. You got it. Oh, sure, get out in the workforce. Work 40 hours a week. If I was a woman today, I'd be fucking pissed. I mean, how do we go back? You mean I used to be able to stay home with the kids and watch soap operas? Unbelievable. But no, you got what you asked for now, honey. And don't come running to me asking me to open the olive jar. You open the olive jar. You wanted it. Oh, that's great. You got these women now. They want to do everything a man can do. Oh, sure. Until they want you to change your light bulb. You go up on the ladder and change the light bulb. No, honey. You get on the ladder. That's what you wanted. Be a man, my friend. Escalate. Hey, but at the end of the day, I want to be like your father. And you come to me for advices. So it's not that hard for me to give you the wrong advices. Email down below. Send me your questions. I got answers for you. Oh yeah, I got them all. Send me questions. I want to help you out. Okay? Check me out on Twitter. Support me on Patreon. Guys, about Patreon, I'm trying to figure out how to use this system. I'm very new to it. Please be patient with me. I'm trying to get back to everybody. I really am. I was trying to post a video on there the other day explaining some things, and it just wouldn't let me do it. I was trying to put the video up. It wasn't loading properly. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm working hard on it. Trust me. I'm working very hard. All right.